Good. Thank you. Okay. So, if you're forced by someone to give something, or if you're grudgingly giving something, you're not happy, and the other person thinks that won't be happy. I'm pretty sure that is common sense, right? But if you've seen again Chaitanya Charitamrita, go back to Chaitanya Charitamrita again. I'm going to reference a lot to Chaitanya Charitamrita. If you've seen Chaitanya Charitamrita, any giving is so joyfully given, exploding with joy. Nothing holding back. They give everything with happiness. And one such wonderful example is again Shri Gurudasa Das Goswami. When he came to meet Shri Nityananda Prabhu, okay, he called because I was come here as a punishment. This is a big pastime, but this is punishment for you. You have to feed everyone here assembled with chipped rice, yogurt, and sugar, and milk basically. Chipped rice, mixed with yogurt and milk. And feed everyone. It's called, this is a very wonderful festival. It's still being celebrated all over the world. It's called Chida Dahi festival. Chida means puffed rice, chipped rice, and Dahi means yogurt. Okay, so it's called Pani Hati Chida Dahi festival. Pani Hati is the place where it took place originally. So very famous, especially throughout ISKCON and other Gaudiya Mats. Right? So when Nityananda Prabhu had basically forced Raghunatha Goswami, you have to feed. This is an option, the punishment. He did not take it, oh no, seriously, come on, anything else? He did not say anything like that. He was overjoyed in doing that. So, really, I can do that? Thank you so much. He purchased everything, all the milk, the yogurt, the chipped rice, started making bananas, camphor, all different things, sugar, condensed milk, started making preparations, this and that, and feeding everyone with joy. And when you see the description, read the descriptions in Chaitanya Charitamrita, you can see everyone is joking, laughing, exploding with joy, teasing one another. In fact, the merchants, when they heard that this person is buying everything, right? So they were the merchants who were selling milk, yogurt, chipped rice. They're saying, okay, try to make profit. Okay, let's go. When they went there to sell the items, Raghunatha Das Goswami bought everything. And he did not say, okay, now, okay, you're done with it. No, he said, now you bought it, now you sit and eat what you gave me. He made them sit and fed sumptuous prasadam. Okay? So basically, what begins as a self-interested, because the merchants came with a self-interest. Give something, I'll get money. So what began as a self-interested exchange of Dadati Prati Granati, it turned into a selfless exchange by Raghunatha Das Goswami. The mood in which he gave. Selfless. He did not expect anything. Okay, I'm feeding you, but you give me something. No. He made that seemingly self-interested exchange into a selfless exchange. So everyone is pledging. Sometimes we pledge so many things. We have some devotees who could come for donation, and some devotees are saying, okay, I give $10, I give $5, $50. Oh, no, everyone is giving. I don't want to be the odd one out. I want to give $10. Peer pressure. Sometimes it will be peer pressure. Forced, right? So sometimes we think the devotees, you do something service, and we think the devotee is not sweet to me, devotees don't appreciate me. Right? I mean, all that actually helps, but when we give something, with a mode that I want to get something in return, that's not the mode of goodness. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, you go to 17th chapter, Krishna explains many different aspects of austerity, charity, in different modes. He gives a definition of all of them. So I'm going to read the definition of charity in the mode of goodness. Right? As a translation. Charity given out of duty without expectation of return at the proper time and place and to a worthy person is considered to be the mode of goodness. That is charity in mode of goodness. You don't expect anything, you just give it. Because right place, right person, that's it, done. And when you give grudgingly, it's a mode of passion. But Krishna says, right, the next verse, Krishna says, but charity performed with the expectation of some return or with a desire for fruitful results or in a grudging mood is said to be charity in the mode of passion. So the mood in which we give is very much, it's very important. So first is the quality of what we give. Second is the mood in which, we give what we give. The two things. Or the third thing, the quantity. How much do we give? Right? So now we usually speak, oh no, quantity is not important, quality is more important. That's true, but quality also matters. Quantity also matters. Right? Think, if you go to devotees invite to a home program, and it's going to be pizza party. Okay, pizza party, let's fast the entire day. Let's make sure I don't eat anything the whole day. At night, I'm going to devour the pizzas. Right? You're empty, you go in the evening, and devotees take one slice, half. Yes, that is it. There are more salads, please come and have it. What will say? Disappointment. I fasted the entire day to have pizzas, not one slice, multiple slices. But you give me one slice and saying that's it, that's the only pizza you have, and everything or salad is there. That's it. Disappointment. So people, sometimes people what we can offer is all we can offer is salad. That's possible. It's not that we have to go to extreme measures and then give. That can also backfire, because then we become grudging, we regret what we did, and then that affects our devotional service, right? So we should, whatever we give, we should give it with an open heart. And that does not mean that we have to be rich to give something, right? If what you can afford are bananas, give bananas to the full. If what you can offer is salad, give salad to the extreme. Give it without holding back. If what you can, that's what you can offer, right? So, and again, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does that in Chaitanya Charitamrita. If you ever read Chaitanya Charitamrita, when devotees have prasadam, there is no one spoon. Keep on putting prasadam. There's no stopping. Back in the days when I was in India, we used to do this trick. You get a lot of rice, you put lots of dal, and then say, "Oh, Prabhuji, it's too much, too liquidy. Take some more rice." And say, "Prabhuji, this is too dry. Take more dal. It's too liquidy," and then keep on going. Wet, dry. I feed them prasadam continuously. Right? And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, you will see the sannyasis, the renunciants, all the devotees, they're eating to their neck. They're filling themselves up. Right? They're eating everything. And Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, whenever the description of prasadam starts, as if he goes to a different mood, he starts explaining what preparation, how is it made, in a detailed manner, as if he's a cook. He's a cook, in fact. He gives detailed descriptions. When people sit, the prasadam, Krishna goes, "Oh, they made spinach with putting this and that, this and that, this and that." The one, okay, next. Goes on. You can probably make as a recipe book out of after the Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the recipe book. Right? He gives extreme, details, different types of leafy vegetables, cakes, sweets. Right? And if you have ever heard the Bhoga Arti song, anyone heard Bhoga Arti song? It's written by Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur. It was very beautiful. Sukta sakadi bhaji nalita kushmanda dari dalla dugdha tubidadi mocha khanda mudga bora masa bora roti ka gritanna shashakuli pishta khakir puli payasanna amrita Karpura Amrita Keli Ramba Khirasara Amrita Rasala Amra Dvadasha Prakara Luchi Chili Sarpuli Rendurasa Bali Bhojana Karena Krishna Hoye Kutuhali. All the things I told are all different preparations. Sukta, Sakadi, Kushmanda, Dala, Dugna, Tumbi. They're all different descriptions or names of all the preparations. which are offered to Krishna. You remember Bhakti Thakur, right? So there's always so much prasad in when they offer, what all they can offer, they give to the full. Some people can offer just bananas as mentioned, or can salad, or pizzas, or something. But when we give, it should be without no holds barred. Prabhupada also used to say, the servers should be fed previously, first. So that when the servers give, they should not say, empty, for service. No, we should not do that, actually speaking. This is a personal experience. Again, because back in India, in Mumbai, we loved giving prasadam so much that there used to be many days, entire prasadam finish and go back home and say, Amma, is there anything to eat? And we just finish everything, giving them. And so much joy in the heart. Because we're feeding them prasadam. Feeding prasadam. So when we give it to the full. When the devotees are happy, Krishna is happy. We say Krishna tushte, Jagat tushte. And Krishna is fulfilled, satisfied, all the world is satisfied. It goes the other way. When devotee is satisfied, Krishna becomes more satisfied. Right? So we should satisfy devotees. So when I did a lecture on this preparation for this class, the devotee called this as the theology of abundance. Theology of abundance. In this world where right now it's drilled into us, what is that? The reality of scarcity. There are very few limited resources, right? And everything's here controlled by supply demand. The more demand, the less supply, prices go up. The less demand, more supply, prices go down. It's called the scarcity we have been taught. This very few limited resources, right? And in Chaitanya Chaitamrita and Sri Rupa Goswami is given alternative to that world, to that mentality, the mentality of scarcity, right? They're saying that when we change the equation from a self-interested mode of living to a selfless mode of living, where we are not the center, where Krishna is the center, right? When we reconceptualize that in this particular way, then we don't have to live with the concept of scarcity, but with abundance. Because then Krishna, who is the owner of everything, will supply everything. One beautiful example, this early in the days, there's a Prabhupada disciple, Shyam Sundar Prabhu. They used to go different areas to preach. Prabhupada say, okay, you go. Prabhupada used to turn the globe. No, the globe. Have you seen the globe? He's turn the globe and point here. Okay, you go here. That's it. He point his finger. Devotees, yes, Prabhupada, I will go and preach. One such incident, the devotees didn't have money to pay the rent where they're staying. I think what to do. And suddenly, out of air, all the money started throwing in front of him. Perfect. Rent. They paid the rent. From where the money came? It flowed from somewhere. Krishna is called Madhava. Ma means mother. Dhava means husband. Krishna is the husband of goddess of fortune. So why should we? Right? When Krishna, if we sincerely serve the correct intent, Krishna will give everything. But first of all, we should have the faith in that. When we develop that faith, it will come. It will happen. And there have been, we may say, okay, but there have been many examples. Major examples have, we can find where Krishna has given the devotees what they need, even without asking. Because they don't want anything in return. They're doing selfless service. But the main thing is they're following the instructions of the spiritual master. Right? So, one example is Kolavecha Sridhar, again Chaitanya Chaitamrita. Kolavecha Sridhar is basically a seller who used to sell banana cups, banana tree, big banana cups, the fruit, the flower of the bananas. That's it. And in Mayapur, the present day Mayapur, near that area. Bananas were so much in abundance, you're not going to become rich by selling bananas. Okay? You're not going to become rich. And even if right now in the US as well, United States, bananas are one of the cheapest things you can buy. 50 cents, 60 cents. One of the cheapest things you can buy. Right? So even in that condition, what did Kolevecha Sridhar used to do? Whatever earnings he would get, 50% he would spend in worshipping Mother Ganga, and the rest he would help him feeding his family. Right? So devotees were marveled, surprised. How is that such austerity, such penance? Right? So Mahaprabhu said, Kolevecha Sridhar is the richest person I know. He's hiding some riches, and he doesn't tell me about it. This entire discussion is given in Chaitanya Bhagavat. Beautiful description, absolutely beautiful description. Right? So Mahaprabhu used to come and haggle with him. You are a liar, you're a rich person, give me something for free. Wonderful descriptions are given. Right? So back in the days, in Mayapur, when Prabhupada was here, Prabhupada went to Mayapur, was sitting in temple. Very basic, there's no buildings at that time, hardly a hut, small huts and stuff. Prabhupada brought Shri Radha Madhav, small deities. And Jananivas Prabhu, one of the main pujaris of the Mayapur temple, he was actually recounting this pastime. Prabhupada, you say you should serve very nicely to deities. So they had budgets, and the budgets were 1 rupees 50 paisa. And they used to buy 2 pieces of sandesh, very sweet. And they used to cut in 6 pieces. And this was 6 times. With small pieces they used to cut and offer Krishna 6 times a day. So Prabhupada, they said, Prabhupada used to tell his vision, Mayapur is going to be like this, like that. Whatever we have right now, Prabhupada visioned this long back. And his disciples made it reality. Right? So the Jananivas Prabhu, the Pujari, asked, Prabhupada, how do you expect, you don't have anything? How do you expect, you are visioning something so grand? How do we even do? We don't have anything, we don't have money, right? How do we do it? In response to that, Prabhupada said, you are worshipping who? Madhav. Right? So when you worship Madhava in the right way, with love, with devotion, there's going to be no shortage. All you have to do is just serve. That's it. He will provide everything what you need. And right now, if you go to Mayapur, you can see the manifestation of that. Absolutely beautiful. Just serve. Right? So Prabhupada also said something in the purport itself, in the same purport you will read. Prabhupada said, no matter whoever comes to temple, we should feed everyone some sumptuous prasad. No matter who comes, doesn't matter. And if you see, economically, it's not a very good deal. You don't get anything, but you're giving out everything. That model is not being sustainable for long. Prabhupada said, doesn't matter, we don't want anything. Just come, we feed prasadam. That kind of deal is very improbable or impossible statements. Doesn't make any sense. How any businessman would say that is a very bad deal. Nope, not going to do it anymore. Prabhupada had a different vision. Right? That is what Prabhupada carried the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu is called as Namo Mahavadanyaya. Vadanyaya means merciful, magnanimous. But there is a prefix added to it. Maha, the greatest, the most merciful. He wanted to give everyone everything, the holy names. Prabhupada carried that mood, said, no matter anyone who comes to temple, they should be fed sumptuous prasad at any time of the day. If you go to Mayapur, and most of ISKCON temple, you go to temple, you get prasadam. They don't say, first give me something and you get prasadam. No, a selfless exchange. You just come, see a deities, chant holy name, take prasad, that's it. So, now we talked about the 3 things first: the quality, the mood, and the quantity. Therefore, giving. Okay. Now the remaining 13 minutes I have, but I try to speak something on the receiving side. Okay, it will be incomplete without that. So now, usually we give much importance to the giving. We should give in this way, you should give in this way, you should give in this way. But receiving is as difficult as giving. You say, what's so difficult? You accept gifts? Huh? Who doesn't like gifts? Give me. Who doesn't like gifts? Right? But receiving is as difficult. So to say, more or less difficult as giving. So yeah. So Prabhupada says in the purport, Pratigranati principle. Dadati principle means giving principle. Pratigranati principle means receiving principle. We should receive it with open mind as well. Okay. So when Prabhupada says, okay, it may seemingly be simple, but Prabhupada is giving so much stress on receiving, that means there should be something more than meets the eye. Something should be more. Right? So what's the challenge? What's the issue? What does it take to be a good receiver as a good giver? The multiple things. One of the things which which more prominent is become afraid of being in debt. Okay, we are afraid of becoming indebted to other person. When someone does a lot of favor to you, become indebted. How can I repay? See, moment you say in debt, the next word comes is repay. Right? So when they give a lot of prasad, lot of gifts, it creates certain burden. When you take a loan, you are in debt. So you have to now repay debt, right? So students are usually afraid of that. Oh, we've been in debt. How to do that? And how to? We have to ask him now to home. They called us home. We have to call them home. Kind of repay. You're trying to match what they did, and that is what many devotees are afraid of, right? But there's a difference between indebtedness and gratitude. Okay, there's a big difference actually. So one thing which debt brings is the expectation of repayment. And if a gratitude, for example, so gratitude means acknowledging that I cannot repay. When you do something in love to someone, you cannot repay that. You cannot repay someone when the person does something to you out of love. That doesn't happen. Right? When you think as a debt, then you repay. Okay. So when I go in debt as a bank, it comes in repayment. So any kind of debt in this world comes with the expectation of repayment. So, for example, in the Vedas, there are 5 debts mentioned. In the Vedas, there are 5 debts. When you are born in the world, there are 5 debts mentioned. First debt to our forefathers. Second debt to demigods, devatas. The third, debt to the sages. Right? So, this 3. The 2 more. So, we are debt to our forefathers because we are here, because this body, because of forefathers. The devatas for all the natural rain, sunshine, moonshine, whatever. The sages by the books. So we have to repay the debt actually. And how do we repay debt? By forefathers? By having a child of our own. How do we repay the debt to the demigods? By doing yajna, sacrifice. How do we repay debt to the rishis, the sages? By reading the books, what they gave. That's why we repay the debt. So, and once anyone who has repaid all their debts can take sannyas. That's the way it's supposed to be. Okay. So now, whereas debt is something that is temporary, gratitude is something which is forever. Okay, gratitude means recognizing that we have received is something beyond our ability to pay. That is gratitude. Okay? Something beyond our ability to pay. Not the money. Right? When you do something, as I mentioned, when someone does something to you, someone gives you something out of love, out of preeti, it is something which cannot be repaid no matter how. And one such beautiful example is the relation between the dancers of Vrajabhumi, Vrindavan and Krishna. Krishna said, what you've done for me, I cannot repay you even if it is the entire day of Brahma. I am I'm so grateful, I cannot repay. It's impossible to repay. Recognizing the ability, recognizing that I'm incapable of reciprocating. So gratitude comes with reciprocation. Debt comes with repayment. So you reciprocate when someone does any shows gratitude. So when someone calls you to prasadam, you say, I can't repay, I will try my best to repay. And I not repay, reciprocate. I also want to give you something. Not a competition. You give once, oh, you give twice, okay. I'll give today and tomorrow also. I will not try to match by numerical methods. 1:1, no, 2 times, 3 times, no. Right? So when you repay, sorry. So if you look at Sri Prabhupada's life, if you take a Sri Prabhupada's life, anyone would say that he stayed, he did what his spiritual master asked him to do perfectly. He repaid his debts. So his guru said, you do this. So he got instruction, but asking many paid his debts, so to say, that it did not diminish his gratitude. In fact, his gratitude towards his spiritual master increased multifold. Right? He was so grateful to his spiritual master to give him the knowledge, to give him the instruction. Right? So he cannot say, I cannot repay. If you say that, we cannot say, we can never say that we have repaid our debt to a spiritual master. No, it's impossible. You reciprocate with the gratitude. Like, I cannot do that. I cannot ever repay what you've done for me. It's impossible. So I'm going to just follow instructions and try to be grateful for what I have, what I received. Okay? And another example comes in the Ramayana, when Mother Sita, Lord Ram, they went back to Ayodhya, and Lord Ram and Sita were crowned as a king and queen. Right? And Lord Ram said, I want to give a present to you, Mother Sita. I give a pearl necklace. And Mother Sita said, what you have given me, I want to give it to someone else. I want to give it to Hanuman. I say, show gratitude, what he has done. So all things which he has done, I will show my gratitude towards him. I cannot repay for what, because of him, he jumped, the message to Mother Sita that Lord Ram is on his way. Right? Because of him, because that one message gave me hope. I cannot repay. It's impossible to repay because that is not of love. Right? Mother Sita could have done, okay, how much time do you take? This much, I can give you this much gold, this much pearl necklace. You maybe spend so much time searching for me. She could have done that, but that would have never been enough. That thing which Hanuman did cannot be equaled with any amount of material things. Okay. So receiving, in the sense, when you receive something, you receive with gratitude, not with expectation or I'm in debt of the other person. Then comes repayment. That's not a characteristic of love. Okay. So the best way to express gratitude, whenever we do so, is to be very specific in expression of gratitude. We say, right, oh, thank you so much for what you've done. What did I do? I don't remember, but you did something. Thank you so much. But, okay. But when you say, you did this for me, I'm so grateful for you. That person will say, oh, remember that? Oh, thank you so much. It becomes more appreciable. And again, the example comes to Chaitanya Charitamrita. When Srimad Mahaprabhu, everyone went to Jagannath Puri, Rathayatra is done, and everyone is leaving to Bengal. Mahaprabhu called each and every one. Multiple examples. So a devotee called Raghav Pandit. Mahaprabhu called him and said, oh, thank you so much. Your dedication in serving in how you served coconut to Lord Krishna was amazing. Just imagine. Mahaprabhu said, the way you served coconut to Lord Krishna is amazing. It's extremely specific. Extremely specific. Give coconut. So he used to clean coconut nicely, cut it very clean, fresh. No dirt, nothing. So once a pujari, he gave the coconuts to pujari touched the top of the door, of the altar door, and touched the coconut again, offered to Krishna. He said, what is that? When the devotees, when they walk around, dust is raised and touches the roof. You touch that and again touch the coconut, is contaminated. It can't be offered to Krishna. He took, cleaned himself the other coconuts and then offered to Krishna. It's very dedicated, very specific, very loving way. Everything should be fresh, clean to Krishna, for Krishna. So Mahaprabhu appreciated that specific quality of Raghav Pandit, of that specific service. Right? That is how you express gratitude. Try to point out what you did, what that person did for me. Thank you so much. I'm so indebted to you. So grateful. I cannot repay what you've done. Again, cannot repay. Right? You have done something. I'm so grateful for that. And he again called, other devotees, Kulina Gram devotees, and said, your forefather Gulraj Khan wrote one line in one of the poems. Just because of that, I'm so much grateful to you. He had written so many poems, or one poem. In the one poem, there's one line. Mahaprabhu pointed that one line and said, I'm so grateful to you. What about you? And even, what about you are so dear to me? The dog in the village is so much dear to me. Just because of that one line. Mahaprabhu says in Chaitanya Charitamrita. That's how Mahaprabhu is exemplifying the exact thing which is Sri Rupa Goswami, because he's an Acharya. Right? So it's 12:29. So I will, there's so many things more to say. I'll stop here in sense just completing the three things. What giving is the quality in which quality of the thing what we give, the mood in which what we give, and the quantity also determined. Three things very, very important in giving. And receiving means we should not think as a burden or a debt. Rather, we should be grateful. We should be very grateful and try to reciprocate with the same thing and not showing indebtedness. Repay. We should be grateful for what we've done and to reciprocate. We don't have to come for prasad. Please, we can't repay what we've done, but in some way we are incapable of doing the way you are doing. But a small token for us from our side. Show your gratitude. Be humble. Right? That becomes dearer to you. Become satisfied, and the other person will become satisfied. Right? That is the first two principles of the fourth verse of Nectar of Instruction. Dadati Pratigranati. Please repeat with me. Dadati Pratigranati. Guhyam Akhyati Prachati. Bhunte Bhojayate Chaiva. Shadvidham Priti Lakshanam. Thank you so much. Sri Rupa Goswami ki jai, Deshamriti ki jai. Are there any questions or comments or realizations anyone would like to share? The order is still closed. Okay, going once, twice, thrice. Done. Okay, thank you so much. Now we'll open the altar. And mentioned, Prabhupada said, giving the holy name. Not giving, receiving the holy name is also very important. So devotees will sing the holy name, they'll do kirtan for the arti. So they're giving the holy name and to receive it, themselves. Thank you so much. Guru Swami ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.